Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. I've spent the past few weeks eating my own body weight in turkey and setting enough fireworks to celebrate the new year. But the celebrations are over, at least for the time being, because we still have to find out who will be reaching the grand final of Season 17 Premiership. This is Season 17, 17 seasons, and we're going to be basically, possibly, having a repeat winner, or we could have a brand new winner of Europe's highest division. For those of you who missed all of the action in 2018, we saw Failure Esports, or aka Joyotech Failure, taking the top spot of the regular season, winning pretty much all of their games up until the last week, where they did lose to SDCK, former double champions, having a bit of a struggle at the start of the season, but winning their last game against the league leaders in order to seal their place in the playoffs as the second highest team. Finally, in third place, after a bit of a rough start, we saw TORPEDO take the third seeded spot, which means today we'll be having SDCK versus TORPEDO to find out which one of these teams will be joining Failure in the grand final. I'm CeeJaey, and I'm joined tonight by Wiethoofd on production and extrasolar as my co-caster. Are you excited for this, man? First Highlander game of 2019.
Yeah, first cast for me of the season as well. Yeah, really hyped. It's crunch time of the season now, and really it's one of those games where really anything could happen, like, truthfully. There's been a past few seasons where, like, semi-finals has sort of been a bit of a foregone conclusion, maybe, a lot of the time, but I think this is going to be a genuinely close game. I cannot wait to see how it unfolds.
I mean, I agree with you there. Like, it could go either way, and it's been a bit of a season like that. I think at the start of the season, everyone sort of just rolled their eyes and was like, okay, SDCK's back and Failur's still here. Okay, that's the grand final done and dusted. And everyone sort of expected those two teams to be, the powerhouses and just go through. But when you look at the table and you see the teams that have played against each other, we've had some absolutely insane surprises. We saw SDCK really struggle at the start of the season. They dropped two maps, 3-0 and 3-0 in the double Koth week to the Russian side, whose name is foregoing my mind
Kitty.
right now. Kitty, of course. I was thinking it is Kitty, isn't it? Yeah, Kitty, with some great plays, managing to take the points off of them. I'm sure Wiethoofd is going to slap up the table for you guys to see any moment now. If he gets, he's been very lazy today. I do have to apologize for our producer. Not only was he late, he was unprepared. Me and Extrasolar have been working our butts off, and that's just the way it rolls, really. He wins that award, and he's just slobbed out, really. I have to be honest. But there we go. There's the table, and we can see that teams have lost. There's no team that's actually unbeaten so far. I mean, Tourette's French Club had the unfortunate sort of situation of just getting the 1 point and being at the bottom. But Kitty, up until sort of the last week, were still possibly being able to get into the playoffs if results went their way. Envision managed to beat SDCK on Steel Week. TORPEDO managed to lose to the top two teams, but pretty much beat everyone else. There was a lot of situations where any of the teams, the top five teams, were in a chance for the playoffs at the start, and it looked like SDCK could even be relegated if they didn't win against Failure. But then Failure, who'd looked pretty much unbeatable until the last week, then in the space of about a week's time lost, was it 3 games to SDCK? They lost the upper bracket final, of UGC, then their final group game of ETF2L, and then the grand final. So the Failure really kind of raising some eyebrows in what's going wrong and having to pick things up, but they are in the grand final. We can take a look at the maps that have been picked by these two sides. We have a pick ban system where the higher seed actually has sort of a preference, so they can choose who's going to pick or ban first, and they actually pick the decider. So the first ban was from TORPEDO, and they banned Gullywash, the only 5 CP map left in the rotation. SDCK banned Product, which is one of the Koth maps. Then we had them pick Badwater, so SDCK electing to pick a payload map. TORPEDO hit right back, and they picked another payload map, and they picked Upward. So we're going to see two payload games in this match at least. And if it ends at a tie after that, SDCK picked as the decider Coal Plant. So we'll have potentially 2 payloads and a Koth map if we go to the 3 maps. And it's really interesting. And going back to what you said, Extrasolar, at the start, how this could go either way. There's been so many roster changes on either side that if you'd said these two teams were to play against each other at the start of the season, when they did in week 1, Super Dickmann's actually won that game 6-0. They got all the points, but Torpedo are actually winning more of the scrims. But I would say there's probably about 6 or 7 changes across the two sides from the players that played in that game. So, I mean, what's going on with the Torpedo lineup for this game?
Well, I know Torpedo had a few issues with just their initial lineup. I mean, they switched out Seb on Medic for Enir. I think that was on week 3. Same deal with Yak coming actually, the famous demo man. They also brought in Piggy as well on Scout, and I think Piggy and Nubby have just been slamming on the flank for the entire season. But Yak really has been such a strong pickup for the team, just because of mostly because of his calling style, I think I would say. You know, he's such an intense main caller, and he's got a big brain basically. So, and he's been the glue that's holding the entire team together through many of their scrims. I mean, I know they've been scrimming Failure on Badwater, and you know they've been having 10, 15-minute holds against them, just by virtue of Yak. Like, especially on Badwater last, I think Yak is such a dangerous player to be up against.
I mean, I have a lot of experience with Yak. I played sort of, other than the most recent Sixes season, the past 12 months with him, playing a number of ETF2L seasons and Copenhagen Game Sixes, and then also I-Series, I-63 at the land. So yeah, he has a very intense main calling style. He really does kind of tell everyone what he wants to do and what he wants the team to be doing. It's very focused, and he does have Highland experience, something I always used to make fun of him for.
Oh, UKIP.
Joseph, UKIP, yes. Season 8 UKIP are the only team in the history of ETF2L Highlander to not get a point in a season. Every season there's been, you see Tourette's Chess Club, you can laugh at them if you want for getting 1 point, but they got a point in Prem. So more can be said for some people. However, UKIP got 0. They played a Prem season and got 0. And, playing Sixes with him, me and Toast, used to remind him of that a lot. But then he was very proud to come and tell me this season when he did win his first points in Prem. So I was very proud of him as well. But what kind of other danger players are on their team? Any other changes, or is it pretty much the same?
I think it's been pretty much the same mostly. I'm not sure if Ollie's been on the team for the entire season, but I don't really know enough about that really to comment. I know that they've changed main callers. Before they had Lesky main calling a lot, but now they have Yak, of course, taking the reins of the team and just completely microing everyone a lot of the time, But we've had sort of like a conflict, I think, sometimes. There's the team is
a bit of a clash.
A bit of a clash sometimes. Like the team is sort of used to playing the old way sometimes, and ironically, sometimes the biggest strength of having Yak as your main caller has been the team's downfall. They were really struggling to push against Envision, weren't they, in their Week 5 fixture? I believe they capped 3rd point in 3 minutes, but then Yak's team, just Torpedo, failed to push last, almost, and it was an 11-minute time in the end, just by virtue of just that. There was just some miscommunications between Lesky and Enir and Yak, and, it was just a bit sad, really, but they brought it back, and it worked well for them, so that could potentially be an issue, but I honestly think it still could go either way.
It's interesting, isn't it, when you look at a roster at face value? Like on paper, you say all of these players are exceptional players, but it's whether they can gel together in the calls, and if everyone's following the calls, it can work. But if there is that clash, that could be, like you say, could be the downfall.
Well, certainly, but I think when we have people like Piggy and Nubby, like Piggy came in and just really stepped up. Piggy and Nubby, if you just look at their stats on the spreadsheets, I think Piggy actually has the most kills a minute out of every scout in Premiership, the most damage a minute, and the highest KD and the highest kill assist def ratios. And Nubby is pretty much all golds, with the exception of defs a minute. He's got the highest kills a minute, the most assists a minute, the most damage a minute, and the most air shots in Prem, actually. So we've got a bit of a monster flank coming up for Torpedo, but it's not all going to be a cakewalk for them. We've got Credu and Jackie Logan on SDCK, and of course, we've got one more change on SDCK to talk about.
Absolutely. I mean, there's actually been a fair amount of changes on SDCK roster, because at the start of the season on Scout there was no official main Scout, and the demo man playing at the start was Noz or CNoz, the Dutch demo man. And on Sniper, we also had Burn playing, the old school, Burn was actually on the UKIP team with Yak sort of bringing that back around full circle, but more well known for his time with SDCK and their sort of Premiership winning campaigns back in season 12 and 13. So it was very much a vintage sort of roster for SDCK, but their search for a scout was on the basis of Credu not being available. And now that he is available, all of the mercs have gone by the wayside. I mean, they had Spelly play a game for them, who is, their old demo man. They had Viljak merc for them. They've had a lot of people merking, but Credu is in and he's been posting some monster stats. Jackie Legs, who's won Prem with SDCK before, also with strong opinions. I think he won Roamer of the Season once as a 60s
I'm sure
player.
of it.
Yeah, so, lots of talent there. And then Yahoo, Premiership Pyro of the season a number of times, I believe 2 at least. And then we got Elikor coming in as demo, who came in as the main demo around that time where they made this roster switching, sort of towards at the end of week 3 is week 4 onwards is when these changes came around. And Elikor, as we all know, is a pipe god playing for Ascent and top 5 and the likes of that, and has been again doing some crazy things for the side. Sandburn is on heavy, as we all know, many time heavy of the season. I think he was actually an MVP of the season on one of the seasons he played. I think it might have been season 12 or something like that. But one of the best heavies around. And then we've got Clark on Engineer, Sprayer on Medic. Sprayer, who's been around on a number of Premiership teams. One Prem back with Chess in season 7. And then Kazarok. Kazarok is the other addition or change. And so Kazarok was, at the start of the season, the main sniper for Tourette's French club. And then after, I think it was week 3 or week 2, he left the team and joined Failer Esports as a backup sniper behind Porky or Proky. And then after like a few days of that, SDCK made a change. Now, I'm not sure whether Burn was cut or whether he stepped down or what the situation there was, but a lot of people were calling Burn out on his stats, and suddenly Kazarok became the main sniper moving from Failer, and he has been showing some great numbers, which I'm going to come to you after Extrasolar, because you can sort of talk about how he's hitting these. Yeah, the numbers nerd. With he's been hitting shots. He's been hitting shots. So, you got to do him justice. And finally, we got Ziman on Spy, who has been around and about. He is, of course, from the old adage of the old SDCK roster, but hasn't played many games this season. I think I've seen Toast, and I've also seen Viljak merking for them this season, so maybe not had as many games as maybe expected. But that is pretty much full-strength rosters, both sides. But just coming back to those numbers, so you were talking about Nubby and Wild Piggy being really excelling on the other side of Torpedo, but for SDCK, who's posting the big stats for them?
Well, as you mentioned just now, we have Kazarok, who currently has the most assists a minute in the division, which, you'd think your team's got good coordination on a follow-up. But he has the most med picks a minute, the most headshots a minute, and the most SVS kills a minute. And he's got 48 total sniper frags in Prem this season.
Wow.
It's just been completely brutal, really, for the team. And as well, you've got to remember that potentially these stats aren't as good as they could have been, because he has, of course, played the 5 weeks, but the first few weeks of those are on French club. So maybe they weren't using Kazarok to his full potential. So had he been playing for SDCK for the entire season, maybe we could have been seeing even higher stats coming from him.
Yeah.
But, yeah, just monster stats. And we've got Ziman as well, who currently the Ambient doesn't really seem to have affected him that much. He's still just doing his thing. I mean, there aren't any headshot stats for the spies on the spreadsheets, but I've seen some crazy clips of him doing his things, especially on Badwater third. Been doing absolute crazy things with the Ambi. You think you wouldn't do it a lot, but, And we have Sandburn as well, who has the lowest deaths out of any heavy in the division, and the most damage a minute in the division. So Sandburn, really. It's interesting just to see, the different playstyles you've got. I mean, I know Sandburn is he's very aggressive. He's like a tank heavy a lot of the time. Does he still main call? I'm not sure. I haven't been
I think he is the main caller for them, yeah.
Yeah, because you think about Elikor, it's just seeing the different playstyles. You have Yak, who's a very, very consistent sort of play safe, play with my team, or group up together. And you got Elikor, who basically just puts on the pipes and just goes beast mode for a while. He'll just jump forward and just hit 4 pipes on absolutely everything. But that seems to really be his play style. I mean, I haven't really seen too much of him. I think he's only played 2 games so far this season, because there was Noz earlier who's played the first half. But
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard. Like, it does make it look like they've not played many games this season, but I mean, he has played a number of UGC games as well, and he's been posting good stats there as well. And a lot of these players have been playing regularly in both leagues. So, yeah, I mean, the coordination is going to be there. Looking at the map starting off here, so we got Badwater, which is SDCK's pick. Obviously, like, for me, they've always been a team that's been fairly good at payload. That's been their strong kind of home turf, if you will. And they've obviously picked this one on the basis that they're confident on it. But, I mean, you're talking about Torpedo posting some good times in scrims against, the likes of Failer. So, coming into this, do you think Torpedo are going to be expecting to get a win here, or are they just going to be trying to fight tooth and nail for as much as they can? Do you think they're going to be confident, or are they just going to be prepared for the worst?
I mean, from what I've heard, they're a bit apprehensive, but I do honestly think they're quietly confident. I mean, Yak has been really, as I said, the glue for the team. He's been just holding everything together for a lot of these defenses, and if they can afford to actually get the good first and last hold up, I think honestly it's going to be a very tight game. I think they really are going to give SDCK a run for their money. But just quickly though, I want to point out that we've got Yahoo actually for SDCK though. He's got the most kills a minute, the most damage a minute, the highest KD, and the most spy picks a minute. And we've got Agi as well, who he's very good at timing his saps. I found on Badwater with Yak and their pushes that are going in. But when you're against a pyro like Yahoo, he's so scary to play against. It's sometimes he just doesn't miss a shotgun ever. But
yeah.
But I think it's quite difficult to say. I mean, I don't really want to make a prediction either way, because every time I made a prediction for KritzKast, I've been wrong. But I think the way this is going to go is we're either going to have Torpedo win in 2 maps or lose in 3.
Okay.
And I think we are going to see probably two golden caps this game, either on product and upward, or Badwater and product, or whatever. But we are actually going live now.
We are live, so extrasolar thinking if it goes the distance, it's going to be SDK who has the more stamina, shall we say, or maybe just the cutting edge on the final map. But we are going to see guaranteed here tonight Badwater and upward. Starting off on Badwater, which is SDCK's pick. They are the higher seed, so they got to pick 2 out of the 3 maps here, and they are going to be on the attack. They're going to be in the blue team here, just admiring themselves in spawn as you do. And then we're going to have a Torpedo in the red on the defense. They'll be setting themselves up. SDCK will try and push as fast as they can, trying to get as fast a time as they can. And when they do that, then they'll swap around and we'll have them on the defense with Torpedo trying to beat that time. And each payload map is a best of 3. So UGC does it best of 1. This is ETF2L. We play to best of 3. So we could be in for a very, very long night here. If, as extrasolar predicts, we'll be having some golden caps in the mix. And anything of note here of the defense, extrasolar from Torpedo? Anything you kind of spot with sentry placements or anything?
No, they're doing it fairly normal. They've got a sentry forward in the denial spot. They've got Oddie up on cliff. It's fairly standard. We've got Yak spamming a spawn with his Iron Bomber. Just fairly normal stuff.
It's sometimes best to just keep it regular and then just adapt to see. We see as Kazarok is the first person, to die.
Yeah, I was really going to slow down the sacks here, but I think Elikor wants to go anyway with Jackie Legs. Jumping in here so he can get anything done. And N is so low there, but does get the pack. And that's really well cleaned up.
That takes balls. As a medic main, I hate Badwater first. It is very open. Even if you surf away, you're surfing into a sight line of a sniper or a spy or something. But Anir there holds on to that lead, but gets the pack nice and calmly back up to full HP now, and still has his Uber intact. And you can just see Piggy and Nubby here on the kind of just watching the tunnel, making sure no one gets too close, just picking off Jackie Legs there. The teleport has gone down to Ziman, which pretty much is the focus these days of spies. It's the meta. Just go for the teleport to take it down, slow down those respawns, as Yosef there, or Yak, is taking a ton of damage. But he's just getting tanked, which is what he wants. Just able to keep those sightlines, but look at Sprayer.
Yeah, I don't think there's no sandburns in Maze actually. He's just hiding there, waiting for someone just to peek him over there, waiting for his suicide to come in. Jack is going to try and come in from cliff here. There's a big climb all the way around, but doesn't really get anything off it, and will get denied. And Sandburn's back on the rock, but is spammed out. Kazarok and Jackie Legs are down, and this Sakura is probably over.
Agi there, I was watching, he was on the cliff. He knew where Sanburn was, and I'm sure he was communicating it with his team as Sanburn finally goes down to Joseph there. But Agi was just waiting and waiting and waiting, and then as soon as they all came on that drop down, he just did an Assassin's Creed stab onto KazRock there, but he was have been traded up top. There you go, big air blast from Team Borden, just pushes them all away. Zeman is scared away and taken down as well, so no threat there. While Piggy has gone down, there's a couple of downers, including Ollie, who's still on that respawn wave. Teleporter goes down again, but it's all about whether Torpedo can hold onto this onslaught for a little bit longer. Sentry is still alive, Aleski is still alive, and Yak is going forward with the conch from Nubby as well. So much damage onto everybody there. Yahu goes down, Jackie Legs has gone down. Joseph has died in that, which may be detrimental in the long run.
Oh, Zeman's on in here, he's so low. Oh, he does survive in the end. Not sure if you saw there though, but we actually had Zeman behind Yak, and he's really distracted and spouting out everything, but then Enir actually flashes the Uber onto his own man, saving his life. So a little bit lucky for him there, but we see a main fight coming in here. SDCK do not want to take this line down. They are trying to push up through main here, and they have gotten the sentry off of the cliff, and Torpedo just want to back out here. But they got another sentry back passive now. But I think they'll want to be passive here. I mean, there is a big danger here of just a bomb coming in, destroying everything, and that's what they will do. They will just walk out.
That's like, it is possible to do a sort of a hold there, but because you're basically giving up so much high ground, it's very easy for the attacking team to get something done. Both sides do have Uber now, and we do see Nubby on top of the roof here, and there's Ramasol's got a level 1 sentry. It's really far forward on the tracks, but it's not going to get much done, and I do think they're just going to give up this second hold. They don't have enough players. Piggy is going to try and get out there. He's going to take a ton of damage, but he will survive, and I think SDCK may just get this for free. Jackie Legs with the huge one, trying to get something, gets so much damage onto Ollie, and he does go down.
That's that the bauble kill?
Yeah, I think it is.
Really well
Bleeds
played
to
there.
death.
Yeah, Credu and Jackie there. That's the monster flanks we were talking about. Just, getting the follow-up. And there's no sniper for this third point here, and no spy either, so there's just all this ground here for SDK. They will just walk through Boiler and go through main here with Yahoo. And they force out the Uber on Enir. And we've got Sanburn here. Well. Oh, he's so smart. He's just cutting off everyone walking out through top left, and this is quite possibly very bad. They've lost Yak, and Enir is so weak backing out. He does survive. That was a really nice shot there from Molly. But they might have to give up this third point here. This is not looking good for Torpedo.
No, I mean, they've got 4 down, and everyone else really isn't in a position to save. You've got an NG, a medic, a sniper, and a spy. It's not really going to work, and Ollie gets taken down there, and that's a very late death again. 22-second respawn for that man. No sniper, as KazRock just respawns for the attacking side. It's going to be very, very difficult here. 351 extra, so would you be happy with that after 3 points?
I really wouldn't be. Like, the third point is such like a fortress, really, that you can just hold on to for a very long time if you want to. But the one saving grace there, I think, was that Ajay came in and killed KazRock and Elikor at the end there. So maybe it slowed down the push a little bit, but KazRock's in the window over here. And he does get Ajay, gets the classic spy pick, but Zeman has come in and picked off Aleski, and now the map room is completely open for Jackie to go and spam through. And now SDK just walking through tiles here with KazRock, watching the sightline near Dark Room, and Ollie has to kill KazRock here. And he's already picked off Nubby, and then the Uber comes in, but it's perhaps not the best Uber. Yak has kind of spiral with his medic really well, and the counterpop comes out, but Ramsor does go down with the sentry. So perhaps not the best flank push coming in from Torpedo here. The SDK do have card control here, they're trying to push through main. And that's Yak down again, and Enir's just, well, he doesn't know what to heal, and he's just picked off. And this really
is around now.
Yeah, this is so dominant here from SDK, he just rolled straight through to last. Nubby's trying to doing what he can on the cart, but can get Jackie Legs in the end. And that's 5 minutes and 8 seconds. That's not the best time in the world that you really want to be getting if you're on Torpedo side.
No, definitely not. You do not want to see a 5-minute time there when you're defending. If you go 6 minutes, you could argue that it's average, but 5 minutes is definitely considered fast. I have to point out that both snipers are actually bottom scoring for their team. Ollie's on 3 point. KazRock's on 8 points, so they're just being focused very, very hard by both sides. I mean, I don't think I've seen very many sniper battles. Just Ollie getting focused by everyone just jumping forward.
This happens a lot, really, when you're in a fast game where the snipers can't really afford to slow the game down that much because their teams are just playing so fast and so forwards. It's difficult just to get the time to charge your shots, watch a sight line, and just get picks because your team is just everything's happening at once for you. I don't think it's a reflection on the individual days of the snipers. I think it's just teams are playing so quick and they just can't get anything off, and it's a team game. It's called Team Fortress. I think
it's not called Solo Fortress. It's not. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's what we usually find in these top-level games. If you give the snipers time, then they're going to top rank because they're at that quality, they're at that level. But in these games, there's so much pressure, and we just saw that kind of sacrifice from Elikor, from Kredu, from JackeyLegs, just throwing their bodies forward, trying to get something, and they get the sniper, and that was a huge pick. So a lot of work here for Torpedo. They need to beat this in under 5 minutes. Big jumps in from Nabi and from Joseph. Then the Pyro comes in. T-Borden gets a bit of damage down, but doesn't actually scare Sprayer enough to make him pop his Uber. He's still at full HP, but Ollie with a nice headshot onto Yahoo. That's a Pyro pick, so that's really big on this point.
That really opens up this. If you can get a trade going down, that means there's no Pyro to push off cliff into Maze, and that's really very strong pushing into this point. Like, I always say to my teams when I'm doing map talk, kill the Pyro, as Clark has gone down as well to the suicide wave as well, so no NG, and the Pyro's only just coming up on the respawn, and this sentry is very vulnerable to spam, and Kazarok's down to Agi as well.
Yeah, Agi decided not to go for the teleporter. He's not going for the teleporter, so the teleporter is still up, so his respawns are going in. He finally does go for the teleporter now, and Clark is only just respawning. I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get there in time. It's going to be close. Can he save the teleporter? He can!
Oh, that's a 1 HP teleporter. Huge plays there by Clark. The Uber's going to come in through main here, trying to force off Sprayer, but he's so far back. He does finally pop it off onto Kazarok and JackeyLegs, but he's actually got no one really near him. He's lost Elikor and Sandburn.
Yeah, look at the chase here. Look at the chase. Like, Yahoo's so weak. Kazarok's the furthest one forward. He has to be careful because he could get picked off just like Oyos, but he takes down Ollie instead. Agi is maybe going to go for him there. Gets right into his face, but no, he gets spammed away. And I'm going to be interesting to see here. Actually, Nubby.
He's killing the flank on the roof here, and Nubby, that's so unlucky there. JackeyLegs was so weak, but Credit and him do finish him off in the end.
I think SDCK want to hold the second point.
Yeah, they killed Yak.
They've taken down, they've taken Oleski, yeah, so they've got a setup here, and you can see Clark building a sentry quite passive on the tracks. And you get to this position where if you get your flank up on roof and you get your combo playing on the floor, you can pressure this point for quite a long time. We've got 3 minutes and 10 seconds as of now for Torpedo to push all the way. Big jump from Nubby. He's going to come all the way around. Lands a great deal of damage onto Yahoo, but he is going to die to the pipes of Elikor. And Yahoo is just going to heal himself up there. Sandburn's gone down.
Coming out as well from JackeyLegs here. This is exactly what you want to do if you got like a fast time on the attack. You want to keep eking out time on this second point as it's around the corner. You're playing really safe, and you're just forcing them to just take bad fights against you. And now look. We've had just both teams 100 and over for quite a while, and it's just it's been a war of attrition, really.
You just take a look at them on roof now, yeah, Yak on roof, and he's taking down JackeyLegs, so that's pretty good, because that does mean they're going to use the Uber. I'm not sure if that's a little bit early there. A lot of damage coming down, and they're just going to get denied by Yahoo, really, and Sandburn comes in. Very, very difficult for them to push that, really, but this second hold seems to be pretty strong for them, as long as they keep a sniper denied on the roof, and Oleski and Nubby are there, and they're just getting some spam down here.
Yeah, it's getting to that point in the game where Oleski goes down again as well, where Torpedo really need to make something happen, else not going to have time to cap these last 3 points. Right, it really is do or die here for them, and they need to get Nubby in doing like a high bomb as they walk around the corner, but Nubby's currently on roof getting cleaned up by the JackeyLegs and Gredu combo, so that's going to slow him down even more. And Sandburn is down, maybe we can make something happen here, but again, there's such control here from SDCK on this second point. This corner is just it's just their side of the map that they can't walk in.
Sandburn playing really, really far forward there. I think he's just like the first line of defense. By the time he's died and they've got into a position to push again, he's respawned. So he's just going to be back into position now, as we do see them pressuring the point. They are going to get the cap, but Anir dies! Anir dies to JackeyLegs, takes him down. He was about 89%, I think, not close to Uber, as we see the defensive Uber coming in here. Sandburn takes down 2 and a sentry gun for good measure. There's only 2 players alive. One of them is Nubby, and he's in the sky. He's surely going to die. He's 5 HP. Sandburn just put him out of his misery. Is he going to get away? No, he's not. He makes that 4. But yeah, I mean, they just clean him up there.
That was absolutely huge. Once again, JackeyLegs and Kredu coming in. I think that was another ball kill for Kredu as well onto Yak. And then JackeyLegs went and got the sniper and medic as well. So absolute complete control again from SDCK on the second point. And the only player down for them is Yahoo, and we got Joseph as well, who's dead. And then we've got Ollie on the respawn queue as well from Ziman. So I think this is GG at this point. No more time.
Yeah, I mean, less than a minute. You'd have to go all the way to last. At this point, Torpedo are just probably going to be sitting in their mumble, being like, okay, what went wrong? And how do we fix that so that it doesn't happen next time? How do we get ourselves into a state where we're not going to have the same thing happen again? Because if they do, then the first map is going to go very, very quickly indeed to SDCK. But so far, it's just around Torpedo, just discussing the SDCK are going to be very happy with themselves. I mean, defensively they haven't been challenged on third or last, but their first and second holds looked very, very strong, and Torpedo are going to be the ones having to make adjustments here, surely.
Yeah, I think they're just giving Dickmann too much respect here, honestly. Like, the space they were giving them when they were just walking, you know, it's equal Ubers and they're playing as if they got 50%, especially on the last point itself. I think, you know, maybe just a bit of nerves before the game. You know, we got SDCK, of course, Prem champions multiple times. Torpedo are fairly new to the scene as a team, but yeah, I think they just need to just stop giving them so much respect. You know, start playing a bit more forwards with Yak. I mean, I've bet Yak's probably just screaming at his team now in Humble just to get forwards, but yeah, it's difficult when you're getting picked off this much as well. I mean, Ollie's still bottom scoring as well. He's only on 10 points. He just hasn't really had the space. Ziman's really been focusing him. I mean, I'm not sure how many times he's died yet. I had to get logs up for a second.
I'm just going to take a look at the logs now, actually. We won't be showing them on screen. We'll be showing combined logs at the end, thanks to Mr. British. He's going to combine the map logs into one super log. But just taking a look at the round stats quickly. Top fragging was Samburn and Jackie Legs, both with 13 kills each. Zaman and Kazarok with 12 each, just behind them. So, I mean, the first four fraggers there are all on the side of SDCK. Looking at the other end, and yeah, I mean, Aleski with 3 and Ollie with 4, really not finding themselves getting into the game. And you saying like Ollie getting focused by Zaman there, it's very hard. I mean, he died 10 times. There's only 3 players on the server who died in double figures. The other was Agi and Nubby. So, I mean, those are players that you would expect to die quite a lot. Take a look at who's got the most sniper kills. Agi's got 5, but on the rest of it, you got Zaman with 3, Jackie with 2. Like, there's just so much focus going down on the sniper that he's not given room.
Yeah, and as well, like, when you have just the flank and the spy just on your sniper all the time, look at the SVSs. There were just none. Like, there was one time when Kazarok killed Ollie the entire game, and Ollie killed him 0 times. Like, the SVS just didn't happen. And I think this is just going back. You know, it's just the game of space, and it's a really fast game as well on the offense. And the flank are just doing the job of killing the snipers pretty much. Like, the SVS just hasn't been happening. The game isn't being slowed down to a point where the SVS is actually happening. Very interesting stuff. But we do see a new round coming off now. This time Torpedo on the attack again, looking to better their time of 5 minutes for 2 points.
They're gonna have to push much harder as we see the suicides come in here. Kazarok has gone down to Nubby, so no sniper for the defensive side. That opens up a lot more avenues. You see Ollie here, he's trying to get a cheeky snipe, maybe wants to stay alive here for the rest of his team comes in with the respawns. But yeah, I mean, good start from Torpedo, good start, better start, but Yosef has gone down, so he's going to be another 10 seconds till he's back in action.
Elikor just, he counter-jumped Jack as he tried to come in, so he just body-boxed him while they were both in the sky. That was just the biggest brain play, honestly, so Jack just couldn't get any pipes off. Big props to Elikor there.
Actually, we do see a lot of people dying for Torpedo. Ollie, Rambasaur, Nubby all going down, and, you know, take a look at Wild Piggy. He's actually doing a grand job of getting that car all the way through the tunnel. He's nearly at the bend as well, as Aleski's trying to walk forward now.
And it dropped Aleski. Oh, that's very sad. Like, I don't like the tunnel push at the best of times, just because if you have to Uber so early and like climb so much ground, and yeah, Sandburn's in just like farming Joseph here, or Yak, and NS forced to just, you know, run away with his between his legs. Yeah, that's just the one thing that I just don't like about that push, because you have to Uber so early as the attacking team, you got to climb so much, and it just, everything's against you. They did get the pop off onto Sprayer, and now NS got a 20% advantage to work with. So maybe it's not all doom and gloom here. They are trying to get some ground here on Cliff, but Joseph has died.
Yeah, but Kazarok is also dead, and Clark is also dead, so that sentry is spammable. It's up to, you know, it's been sapped out by Agi, he is going to get it. So sentry's gone down, Clark has to make his way forward, and Ollie racking off a snipe there onto Kredu. So scout down, Spray is very weak, and he does go down. Nubby with the big med pick, finally opening things up for Torpedo.
Oh, the claps here though.
Wow.
It's only three left alive for him now, and he has to run away once again. Samburn is so forward here, just trying to get that med pick, and he's going to commit. He does get it actually. That's insane. Like, I know there are only 3 people alive, but how do you just let a heavy walk through and just kill you as a medic when you're coming into spawn? That's absolutely crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Samburn committing, realizing it was going to cost him his life, but knowing as long as he got that medic pick, his medic was going to have an Uber advantage. You take a look now, Spray, it does have about a 10% add rather than a huge disad, which would have been the case before. And we just see the teleporter is still out for SDCK. These respawns are just coming back in, so Kazarok is dead. He's on the respawn, he's going to come through the teleporter. He's back in action. So this teleporter needs to be removed somehow. Otherwise, you know, we're just going to have these respawns. But Yahoo's down, Jackie Legs is down.
Yeah, they're getting the picks here, Torpedo are.
They can walk forward off of
down
this.
now, yeah. We're getting the picks. We got Aleski just like M1ing. But he does get picked off in the end by Credo. And again, like they've got the picks, but they're just not taking the position here. And Yak is just urging his team to walk forwards. Just please support me. He has got De Borden for company here. But the thing is that like Sprayer's playing so smart here, and he knows he pops it straight away as soon as he gets it. But Enir is all the way back into his spawn. Yeah, that's just the claps coming in as well. Like, there was Piggy in at the end there, trying to get in on Sprayer, but really there was no chance for them. But now Enir has 80% advantage, you know, almost full ad, and they're going to try and do something here. They have to break this cliff hold.
They have to. I mean, it's 1 minute to go. If they don't break this hold with a minute to go, I mean, the cart has actually rolled back just to the tunnel entrance now, so they have to break this hold and get the cap. Otherwise, SDCK will only need to cap first in order to get something done. Navi jumps in early on, and T-Borden's also dead, so I'm not sure why these players are dying when they have an Uber advantage. While Piggy is going to be on the chase, gets down Jackie Legs. Ollie's taking down Yahoo.
They've done the tunnel Uber again, and yeah, they've got on the ground that the Sentry is still alive, and now we've got the combo of SDCK, well, the remaining combo, just playing around this Sentry gun. And again, everyone's playing in tunnel. They haven't really got a way to kill this Sentry yet. You know, and Nubby goes down to Elacor, and now the Uber comes in onto the cart, but it's partially denied. It's onto Sandburn, and Rambasaur's doing his darndest to try and get that cart through. But yeah, the collapse comes through. They really shouldn't have been in tunnel doing that. That was, you know, poor play there.
Yeah, I mean, tunnel is probably not a good option when you have that Uber advantage. I agree with what you're saying. You have to use so early. They could have used many different options, and the first tunnel hold didn't go very well. But there is only a few seconds left to go. People are rushing onto the car now. Oleski is doing his best, takes down Yahoo actually, and some players are dying here, but 3 seconds, someone's touched the car. Rambasaur's trying, but it is going to be a first hold here from SDCK in the second round. So all that Super Dickmans need to do in this second phase is push first. If they cap first, then they will have won this round and therefore won the map as well. We're moving on to upwards. So basically Torpedo need to hard hold first, and if they do, then they'll win the round. So it's
oh, they've got a mountain to climb here, but it isn't unheard of. I mean, my mind's being cast back to a game between Strong Opinions and Failer, when Failer failed to push third point against your team, Strong Opinions, but then you got first held the next round.
I don't remember that.
And I think that was one of the longest Payload games I've ever watched. I think it was over 2 hours.
It was very long. And do you know what? Do you know who the carry was in that game? Spamfest.
Yeah.
That teleporter is so important on first, because it is a long distance to go from spawn to first. From spawn to second, it's not so bad, because you can just walk through the doors and you're basically at the point. And the other points are kind of, you know, also not too bad, but from spawn to first is a long way. If you take down that teleporter, those respawns aren't going to be there. You saw how quickly people were dying, but then getting back into the action and having an impact on the game. If you take that teleporter, you're extending it. It makes it easier to capture that point. So I'm expecting to see Zeman maybe go straight for that teleporter at spawn. He's actually cloaking now, so maybe trying to get past. And Kazarok goes down very, very early on to Agi.
Jackie Legs high bomb, and we got Elacor as well. Oh, the air pipe coming in from Yak just instantly crushes the bomb of Jackie Legs there. Absolutely no chance.
I love the wrangling as well. NG wrangling, so not auto aim at all, so precise.
No, it's very, very precise tracking. And that's what they'll tell you anyway. I mean, what do I know? I only play heavy. No more win for Jackie Legs. Did he get air piped again? I'm not sure there, but he lived for way too long after that. But we do have the Rambasaur wrangling. The biceps are coming in, flexing hard on the gamers.
He's taken down a lot of people with that wrangle. Actually, he's denying all these sort of jumpers.
Sandburn just comes in and kills Piggy and Yak. Oh no.
I mean, 7 seconds, 5 seconds for Yak to get into the game. The teleporter is down.
Look how close the cart is, though. It's
very
through
close.
tunnel.
I mean, this is where a tunnel push can work, because you have to play around the tunnel, wait until they come to you, and then they Uber. Uber's actually been used onto Elacor, and they're spamming over the top here. Uber's used later, just slightly later by Enir, and actually they're winning this fight a little bit, because they do have that high ground.
And they're not focusing the cart either. Someone has to get on this cart. They've got the entire combo on the cart, and finally we do have the Scout Power coming on, and Yak's helping with it. But they've got so much cap time, just from this alone, and Enir's dropped down as well. Not sure why. I mean, they already killed everyone. Maybe it's just panic at the end there. But if you're fairly new to Badwater, that is how you do a tunnel push. The tunnel push isn't used to get ground on cliff, it's used to push the cart really far forwards. And now we've got Dickmann being a complete nuisance. He's just resetting the cart every time so it can't roll back. And now, now the focus is split between the players that are coming up through main and the people that are going to try and push the cart. And Jackie Legs is on cliff here waiting for the bomb. He comes in with a high bomb. And, he's just completely clean house there. They've had to give up high ground.
Yeah, I mean, Oleski has to play on the cart here because if anyone touches the cart, it's pretty much cut. But Ollie's popping off here. Takes down Clark and Jackie Legs. But Joseph has gone down to a headshot himself. And Kazarok is saying, you know what, Ollie, I can do exactly the same. And he gets a quick 2k as Piggy goes down to Sandburn. Just getting aggressive here. Nubby is on a 7-kill streak. Takes down Yahoo, but he is going to get taken down by Sandburn.
The other players are just slowly dropping here.
4 players left alive here, make that 3, including the medic and the Uber is used.
I mean, Rambosaur is Rambosaur against the world. He's got the wrench. Sadly, not enough in the end, and that will be SDCK taking the first map of Badwater. Their pick, but that was very dominant display from them. I
mean, if you pick a map, you're obviously expected to win it, I guess, because you're choosing it. You're expecting to have practiced it, perfected it, whatever. However, like they push in 5 minutes, basically nearly 5 minutes flat. They hold Torpedo on third, and then they manage to hold them on first and just cap. Like, that's probably the most dominating way you can win a payload map. A fast cap time and then just hard holding first. So Torpedo's morale is going to be, through the floor at the moment, and SDCK are going to be feeling pretty good about themselves. So, I mean, they're going to have to bounce back somewhere. I mean, where did it all go wrong?
Like, I think on the first round it was just, again, as I said, too much respect being shown to them. But on the second, I think it was honestly just. I mean, I haven't got Yak stream over or anything, but I think the comms probably weren't really all there. Like, there were a lot of times where the focus was split, and the ground was being given to them as well, and just the focus as well onto Yak, especially during the second round, was just really strong. Like, he was every time that the push was happening, Yak was killed, or Yak was killed before the push. So it was really difficult for him to get spam on the cart. I think the only time that there was any ever success in holding the cart on that first point was just just before the last push through main when Yak just spammed the cart out. It's difficult when you have a team that's has played as long as SDCK. Everyone's got into each other's rhythms. They know how each other play, and it is difficult when you just have that working together like clockwork, and they're just walking forwards into you. And I think it's just been really difficult to keep Yak alive as well, and Ollie's been getting just focus as well. So it is difficult.
Yeah, I mean, you've mentioned Ollie and Yak, the 2 strongest classes in Highlander. They're a sniper. Yeah, I mean, you take down the sniper, you focus the sniper, you're going to have a lot more freedom for your team and a lot more freedom for your sniper to get the picks. But also, you take down the demo, there's just so much denial, just wiped off the field.
Like, Sandburn as well have just been, like, we've got Credo and Jackie Legs that have just been cleaning everything on the flank, but the star of the show for the combo was Sandburn, going 30 to 11. 350 DPM. Look like the dichotomy as well of the heavies. We have Oleski who's going 6 to 15 with 180 DPM. Oleski's not been having a very fun game of Highlander this evening. But again, I think they're making this space for Sandburn to go in by picking Yak, and then he's just going in and getting just 2 or 3 kills just by himself. And that's really opening up just so much. Even if you're not making anything happen that push, you've given everyone a 20-second respawn that you can just work off. And if you've got a heavy like Sandburn, as we said in pre-game, play so aggressively, and really is one of the last really quite heavy centric players. A lot like old school Highlander. When you had a lot of teams, your primary heal focus was a heavy. You put a lot of heals into him, he'd be the spearhead of your team. You'd be making a lot of space, and then we switched over to demos making a lot of space. But now we've got the sort of new aggressive heavy style that's emerged in the last couple of years. I mean, mostly by players like Sandburn that have really pioneered it, in which they have their demo existing, just to make space and do some damage. But then Sandburn really walks in. It's quite reminiscent of the way that Breakfast Junior used to play. If you remember that. Mm-hmm. If you have a heavy like playing at such a level.
I mean, Breakfast Junior was one of pretty much the best heavy of his time. and played. I remember playing for chess club at LAN and playing with the combo of Quintosh and Breakfast Junior, and Quintosh just saying, "Don't bother healing me. I'm the demo, but don't bother healing me. I'll do stuff, but you just heal Breakfast." And you just see what he can do, and he just goes on. And the thing is, Sandburn's not actually getting that much heals. He's getting 22%. It's not a huge amount, but he's playing in positions that are further forward, perhaps. Spot on that second hold, which is something that's people have started doing. Where you hold on that second kind of on the floor, but he was playing really far forward, and he was dying sometimes, but getting a lot of damage out and basically being in the first wave of defense and not necessarily relying on his medic to be there pocketing him. So interesting kind of way of playing, and it worked out really well. I mean, when you take a look at the fraggers, the top 5 of the top 6 are all on SDCK there. Nubby, the only person from Torpedo to actually get into that top 6 mark. He got 22 kills, which is actually the second most behind Samba. But you take a look at Sprayer, only the 1 death, and near dying 5 times. That's not bad. I mean, in 22 minutes, that's a decent amount of time, but Sprayer only dying once, it just meant that every Uber that Torpedo had was just so much more precious. They had to make it effective, and they never once kind of, other than the one time they killed Sprayer, and then a near died to Sandburn seconds later. So, it was kind of the one advantage they have. They didn't make use of it because they didn't keep the right players alive. So, I mean, the big question for me is, how do they change that on Upward? I mean, Upward is Torpedo's pick. How do they put it in a situation where they're going to be in an advantage playing in that way? Because it's more payload, and I'm sure SDCK are going to be pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, what SDCK have been doing, it's been working really well for them. They've been just picking little parts of Torpedo, little bits here and there, and the focus is always just seem to be spy, sniper, demo, the classes that kill the heavy. So we've just got Sandburn, who's just having his entire team just make things happen for him. He's just a complete free reign over the entire map here. So if Torpedo can try and keep Ollie alive a bit more, so we can kill Sandburn, there were times towards the end there where Sandburn really was being punished for what he was doing. I mean, he was getting headshot by Ollie. A lot of times he was, really the entry pick into what they were doing. So if you can try and reverse the playstyle, instead of letting SCK get picks, you just don't let them get the picks, and you pick the heavy first. So then if they're trying to get the picks, they have to just get on different targets, but their setup is already to kill the people that kill the heavy, right? And I think, especially on Upward first, the heavy can be very lethal. We have when you're sitting on either playground or the control point area, he can shut down so much just coming into your team. And especially when you have a pyro like Yahoo as well, who's again got the most spy picks a minute of any pyro in Prem this season. That's one less thing for him to worry about. Where he just has these players just constantly creating advantages for him, where he otherwise wouldn't have. And I think really all Torpedo can really do is play together more. They have to play together and just not feed as well. Maybe I'm being a bit too hard on Yak, but there were times where he would be forward, and you can put it down to anything, his team not being there or whatever, but he needs to stay alive a lot more during these attacks if they're going to have any hope of taking this round of Upward.
I mean, they have to do it. If they don't win this map, then SDCK will be taking that ticket all the way to the final to play Phaler. So here we go, Torpedo in the blue, attacking first, and SDCK in the red defending, and then they'll try and beat the time, and we see a big jump in from Joseph using the kind of parachute, I can't remember what it's called, but getting some base jumper, that's what it's called.
He sort of went on the wrong side. You had Scottish Resistance and base jumper, which is a very... I've not seen that one before. I've seen base jumper on the far right from the attacker's perspective. I've seen that, and that's quite lethal. But going in through the stairs, I'm not sure about that weapon choice there, Yak. I mean, maybe it's something that I can't see because of my small heavy main brain, but I'm not sure about the efficacy of such a strategy.
Well, Agi has done the first big play, taking down that teleporter, so the respawns for SDCK are going to be a lot slower. And we see this forward sentry from Clark, but Jackie gets backstabbed, so Agi putting in the work. Azrok's gone down to Nubby.
Yeah, instantly. That's exactly what they should be doing. They should be getting these picks, making advantages, and Sandburn's gone down as well to Oleski. He will die, but the Uber's been forced stopping. We're very happy with that. This is exactly what we should be doing here. You're getting these picks that enable another class to come in and kill the sniper and the heavy. That's pretty much been their only problems, apart from just the flank the entire game. Sniper heavy.
You take a look at the respawns now. Jackie, Samba, and KazRock, they've all respawned. They would be in the fight now if the teleporter was up. Teleporter's down and they're still going. And Agi's sleeping in behind. Can he get anything done? He takes down KazRock again. He's got him on the respawn, and the Uber comes in from Torpedo. Oh, the double kill from the spy. Nubby comes in and takes down the enemy spy. Not the hugest pick, but this does mean SDCK have to back out his sprayer at 50%. Is going to have an advantage over Anir. He had to use that Uber, but they are going to capture the first point here, extrasolar, and that's going to be a big weight off their mind.
Yeah, unfortunately, Yak did die at the start of that push. That'll be the saving grace for SDCK. They're going to try and maybe get strong opinions hold here, but Yak's already up on the respawn. They're not going to settle for this. They're not going to get stuck on another point, and Yak's just like calling for his men to come forward and heal, and they're coming forward. They do pick off Credo, but KazRock does pick off Oil. There's a lot of space for him on the cliff side now, but Sandburn is getting zone inside tunnel, but KazRock, yeah, comes in and just kills Anir, and the Uber comes in straight away. Yeah, that's a danger.
Yeah.
If you overcommit on a second point like that, if Yak wanted to go forwards, like, he really should have gone forward like 10 seconds earlier. But he couldn't because he was dead. So they were kind of forced to just play just sort of a suboptimal push, and then when you have KazRock hitting that shot, there's no heals, there's absolutely no resistance to the overcharge whatsoever, and they're doing a really forward hold here. Sandburn here just playing on like the palisade here, sort of. Just like, and Joseph is on 1 HP waiting for an arrow, but Credit will just jump in and kill him. It's unfortunate there. And they're looking very scattered now, Torpedo are, as Ollie does side to Ziman. And Dickmann are just eking further and further forwards. Clark does go down to the flank from Aleski though. So maybe there's something happening. And the fire is in as well, making some space. But no follow-up, so nothing really happening. But and it's down to KazRock again, so... But Nubby comes in for the flank and kills Sprayer and Elikor. Neither team has heals run, a bit of DN time. But Sandburn right now on that 5k, 6k now, kills Aleski and Rambrasaur. Sandburn once again controlling the game. He does take a headshot for his shovels, but he's got the crew around the whips. That is a very speedy heavy. He's going to run away to his dispenser. But yeah... I
mean, that's your weird kind of turn of events. Like, Aleski taking down Clark and the Sentry, and then Nubby just coming in and taking down the medic and the demo. As Agi has actually got a backstab onto Sandburn here, so his spray of death is now over. His killing spree. Oh, so Agi almost gets Sprayer, but Sprayer just kind of moves awkwardly at the last second, and we do see this kind of reset of the defense here from SDCK, and it is equal Ubers, as both meds died sort of at a similar time. So again, it's down to Torpedo to try and work an angle here, get something. Can they get a pick? Can they get some room somewhere? Because at the moment, look how far forward SDCK are on the hill.
Yeah, they're just playing off the damage of KazRock, and they got Sandburn forwards here as well. They don't even need a sentry on this hill. They're just like forwards here. Like, we got Aleski who's trying to take a fight, but he didn't actually realise that Sandburn was so forward there. We'll lose the heavy 1v1. And look at the health as well on Torpedo. They're forced back out here. And this is the thing, this is the problem with the second hold. It's really easy just to get stuck. But Sprayer actually, as I say that, I'm interrupted. The Sprayer is forced to use it. Does take a pipe and a sticky there. And the trade does come out from both teams here. It's better for Dickmann though, as they have the conch and a snipe onto Joseph as well. That will solidify their hold onto the second point. But yeah, as I was saying, like the second point, it's really difficult. Once the defenders are in place here, I mean, it's a bit of a variation to Strong Opinions hold. It's a bit more aggressive than you would normally see. Like, normally you would have the heavy maybe on the left rock or the main rock on Dispenser. But they're a lot more aggressive. I'm not sure if Torpedo have really seen anything like this before. They're not prepared for it.
They got the force quite easily because Sprayer was so far forward. They just didn't really take advantage of that. But they got an opportunity now as Demo, Heavy, and Sniper are all down. As Sprayer goes down, Ollie with the snipe gets the body shot onto Sprayer, and this should be the second point for them.
Like, Yahoo's on 1 HP as well, no sentry to worry about. But yeah, I think Yak's going to be screaming at his team here. Like, there was like a solid 3 seconds there where he should have been getting tanked but wasn't, and then he just dies to like random spam. And that's really just been what's killing him this entire game, it's been random spam. But Ollie does get the mid-pick afterwards, so that means they're taking the window, and the Uber comes in, it's 100% advantage for them. They will be trying to take it through the house area, but they're going to be denied by Yahoo. Yak maybe was thinking about pushing roller coaster there, but decided not to. They're just going to settle for this second point here.
It's a bit of a bait there, and I feel Torpedo kind of fell for the bait. You know, they had second point down. They had this huge Uber advantage. SDCK wanted them to use on second. They didn't want to have to face a full Uber disad on third, and they forced them early. I mean, Ollie did get the snipe onto KazRock, so they've got a little bit of room now, and they're just spamming the top here. They're playing tracks, which is good. This is kind of the thing that people have been doing lately, is kind of when you have, you know, your players up and there's no Ubers in play, just kind of pushing the tracks here. Dispenser's gone down to Oleski, who's trying to get some damage down from Sheerhouse. Actually takes down Elikor, so there's no demo. Look how far forward Joseph is. He's walking forward, he's getting tanked now. Sandburn is above him though. I'm not sure if anyone is aware that the heavy's there. He's going to look behind.
But
he's
it's Sandburn, he's going to do it anyway.
Are you serious?
That's just...
He gets a near from that?
You know, like,
I
there were three
thought he was
people.
I thought he was being a ninja, and you say they know he's there, and then when I saw them looking, I'm like, okay, they know. How does he get away with that?
He doesn't care. He's just a tank. He doesn't care. It's Sandburn. He just M1s people down. Like there were.
This is what's going to happen.
I think my Russian accent might be a little bit insulting to any Russian viewers right now, so I'm not going to attempt that one. But we got Piggy here edging the car here, trying to get something down. And I'd be interested to see here actually, like with the changes to the Pyro Air Blast, like the third point, pushing into it has been made even harder, because you can kind of just get knocked down really easy into the poop chute, like by the kart tracks there. You know? Like before you just get like sunlocked or something and just go back a little bit, but now you just go flying across the map, so it's a lot harder to push it if the Pyro's up.
So I've played this game for over 10 years now, okay? 2008 was when I started playing. I've never heard that called the poop chute. But
really?
You've brought that into my life now, and I appreciate it, so thank you.
Well, I'm glad, you know, you learn a new thing every day, and, you know, I'm very, very pleased I can bring that to you.
Looking at the SDCK, though, they're losing a lot of players, and they have to use their Ruby. They've only got 4 players alive here.
Oh, and Clark, he didn't have his Wrangler out, the gun's gone down as well. Look at this, Sandburn nearly...
Elikor! He's yeeted off the side of the stage.
No. And look at there's only 4 players left alive, and Yak is just going to try and surge forwards here. He hasn't got the beam on him yet, so he's waiting for Enir, but Enir's going all the way around roller coaster. This is not what you want to see when Yak is already on front stairs here. Enir's trying his best to sprint up to him. We need the sprint key in TF2, I think. That would really help Yak's team.
Yeah, I mean, Yahoo goes down to Team Warden there, and he's down for 20 seconds. So that's pretty big on this last point, because Pyro is so effective denying spacing. You see, Joseph is already up there with Oleski. They're trying to get some stuff done here. 757 isn't the fastest time, but it's actually, I mean, you've got third point, and Aji's going to come in behind. Can he get something? He goes for Aji. He goes for a sprayer. I mean, sorry, but can't get anything done. And the conch does nothing except get Jackie Legs dead, and they do make some space, but they're coming from behind. They're coming from behind. Sprayer is going to die to the pipes of Joseph. How did they slip in there? Enir is going to fall into the pit.
Oleski, well, that's very sad about Enir there, but I think Oleski's just like taking a page out of Sandburn's book there, just like saying, nope, I'm just going to walk forward with my big golden minigun, and I'm going to kill everyone I see. And it worked this time. So maybe Oleski's learning how to be the next Sandburn, you never know.
I actually really like that push, if I'm honest. Like, they were in main, SDK were in main, playing on the floor. It's never really a good idea, but you're expecting the attack to come from the top, but they came in from behind. They did get the medic, but I mean, they traded medics essentially now. And just look how aggressive they're being. I mean, it's almost kind of, I'm not going to say BM, it's not the right word, but it's like they're almost showing disrespect to Torpedo.
It's sort of like you see it like people in pubs when they play on the floor, you know, but they are finally taking top here. I think they were just trying to make some space just to push them back. Sort of like how they did on the second point, but... Yeah,
I mean, that's what I mean. Like, they're just playing so aggressive that they're not showing any fear towards Torpedo whatsoever, and maybe that's what's throwing Torpedo off, is that their players aren't expecting this aggression coming out of them.
Yeah, like, Ollie's been quite out again by Yahoo and Sandburn there, and look at everyone just dead now. What happened?
So Credu Yahoo walked forward and killed a bunch of people, and then Sandburn came in and was like, I want some too, and then killed like 3 people as well. So, I mean... He gets the medic kill for the logs. Kazarok does die there, but at the end of the day, they have 100% Uber, and Torpedo, I mean, they have to work an angle. They have to get something in there. They do take down Sandburn, which is something of an entry pick here. It's going to give them a lot of HP off the battlefield, and Joseph goes down, but Elikor goes down to Agi, so no demo, no pyro, no heavy, and no sniper. This is where Torpedo needs to make a move.
Like, this top is so free right now. There's absolutely nothing that can deny them, apart from, well, the Uber maybe, but it's on a scout. You can deny that. And Borden actually gets 2 shots, so maybe not. Maybe Credu's going to just roll through the entire team here. But...
I mean, again, they're playing on the floor here. Maybe just, like you said, just trying to get themselves some space before they can move up top. Sandburn's pretty weak, and they don't have that Uber anymore. And Enir does have that Uber, so... You know, you get in a situation where if they get pushed on the floor, they've got no pyro with them at the moment, They have to wait for Yahoo to sort of regroup with them, and they're pushing up top. Oh, Aleski's so weak, but he does
I don't think
survive.
they know either.
I don't think
they're still holding on the floor. Like, Sandburn's like filtering up top slowly, but I think that's because he doesn't see any players. Like, look how close Joseph is. And they use the Uber into them, and they have, like, Sprayer hasn't got yet. But, oh, why are they flashing? That's poor play from Eddie up there. Like, he just flashed like Aleski 3 times up, and they're taking 0 damage. But,
Sprayer
it's
fell
alright.
down to the bottom. He fell down like underneath the map.
They have Nubby, so it's fine. Like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah, get out of jail free card, get your Nubby card out. Yeah, Nubby just he's just chilling in the basement, just doing Nubby things, you know, whatever he does, and then suddenly a medic falls through the ceiling, and he's like, okay, I'll take that one, thanks. And in this situation right now, Torpedo in a very, very good position. 3 players left alive for SDCK. Sprayer goes down again. This time Joseph with the dominating kill. Should be a frag. Creddy's going to buy some more seconds. Actually, maybe like a second or 2 there, but it's going to be 11:48 for Torpedo. Their first attacking phase. Now they need to hold for 11:48. Extra, the biggest question.
The $1 million question.
Can they do it? Would you be happy? I'm not going to be. I always say my rule of thumb is on payload, if it gets into double figures as an attacking team, I'm not going to be happy. I'm not going to say I can't defend it, but I'm not going to be like in a good mood. So I'm pretty sure Torpedo are going to be like, you know what, that's not a great time, but at least we pushed to last this time. Let's see what we can do. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of the silver lining. At least they've got a better chance to defend, because it's entirely. You talked about third point, you know, on Badwater. Third point on this map is pretty strong, you know, pretty holdable as well. And if they set themselves out, it's totally defendable time. But do you think they can?
I think it's going to be again another mountain for them to climb for this round. But I think maybe Yak will try and pull out something special. Maybe like the strategy is just, he isn't on resistance for this round though. That's another classic Lico strategy, I think, with Scottish Resistance and KritzKast at this point. So Yak is disappointed with his unlocked choices on this round, but I think maybe it's holdable. Maybe, I'm not sure.
I mean, we've seen teams hold on first point and upward in the past, so who knows what could happen. Jackie Legs is already on the direct hit. He doesn't want any of that business to do with sentries. He wants to take them down quickly. Zeman is already trying to cloak him behind him, maybe just going again for that teleporter. As Yahoo, Elikor, Sandburn, they all die with pretty much little effect. Enia did go down to, you know, about 75 HP, but he was comfortable enough to use the Uber. And now he goes down to Kazarok though, and hey, you know what? A soldier, lack of spam on the defense, is going to open up some more stuff as Zeman does take down the teleporter. So this is where the big exchanges start to happen.
The old Kazarok peeking in through tracks here, just seeing if we can get anything, but Yak is not peeking that angle whatsoever. And now they're just eking forward here. They're going to try and use in on their demo, but the Uber trade does come out. Fairly equal so far, but the Rambrasor's dead. Zeman just comes in, forces him to expose himself to the sight line, and gets killed by Kazarok, and Kazarok again body shots, and Eric. And yeah, this is second for free. He gets Joseph too. So this is.
I'm pretty
dead,
sure.
but I think yeah.
Sorry, I'm pretty sure that like Yak would have died there. He was like 6 HP, so he's hoping to land on the health pack, and then Kazarok like managed to get this tightest angle over the wooden kind of fence board thing. Yeah, and then taunts. So I mean, this is that's going to get under the skin of the Torpedo players. They have to work with a disadvantage on second now. It's going to be very difficult for them as they've just got Ollie and Yak. I mean, that's Demo and Sniper down extra. So he called this after Badwater. They're not protecting them well enough. As Linear goes down as well.
Nubby gets Zeman, and Kazarok is down to Agi as well, and Sandburn is down. I guess Sandburn's basically a pick class in this game, right? So there's no pick classes for SDCK. But they've got all this ground here. I don't think this is the wisest conch here from Nubby. I mean, the cart is nowhere near up, but I'm not sure if they can get it. Oh, Elikor's down actually. This might be a big brain play.
It's, I mean...
No, Yak wants to leave here.
Yeah, they can't really contest it because by the time they're in a position to contest, Spray is going to have his Uber and Anir's only at 20%. It's not worth it. But what they need to do here is get a force. SDCK were in this exact same situation. So they're in the exact same situation where they had to give up second, and the attacking team had an advantage, and they managed to get the force. They baited Torpedo into using. Somehow Torpedo needs to do the same to them now. They're at 50%.
No,
SDCK, they're going to push before that.
Yeah, they're pushing roller coaster. That's the thing. Like, one thing that I will always say on Upward, if the red team's demo is up, never push house, because it's either a bait play or you die. Every time, you always push roller coaster, unless like this time's got an insane angle on you. As the Uber does come in, we haven't got Borden in position really to defend, because he will get shredded by Sambo's minigun. And Sambo's trying to edge his way through Banana here, not sure if they can see him. And Yak might get caught out here. Yeah, the Uber comes out though. Samburn just solar forcing that Uber. The fear of Samburn is real, but spray is down to Agi. That's huge.
Agi was so patient there, just waiting on the tracks
no one's looking at the cart though. It's fine. We have Piggy. And Borden.
I thought that was the scout. I thought how does the scout like? Yeah.
It's just force of nature on.
Oh, was it? Okay.
No, it wasn't though. It wasn't the force of nature. It was it? I thought it was an air blast. I'm being shouted at by Wiethoofd.
Yeah, combines air blast and force of nature, sends Yahoo nearly out of the server. Like, I've never seen a blast that much. I thought Pyro Air Blast is broken again or something.
I think contact NASA, we've beaten Apollo 13's record for the farthest human space travel.
I mean, look at Ziman. He's just going to try and get some cheeky count time here. Piggy's going to try and contest. Doesn't want to get a headshot. And Jackie Legs with the whip kill. Takes down Agi, and we do see a few picks coming in here. Just look at SDCK. They know there's no Ubers in play here, but they're just walking forward and they're just getting free damage down. They're getting free cart time. I think Rambasaur's going to have to be careful here. Jackie Legs is jumping in, manages to take down the sniper. Ollie has died again, and there is an Uber going to be in play for them very soon. Extrasolar. I mean, and here's on what 90.
Well, he's got
now.
It. Oh, Kazrot. Oh. Do they know?
Oh, he's not doing it.
Kazrot doesn't know. Kazrot, you disappointed me here. But the push is going to come through backstairs anyway. Yeah, I don't think they really know where they are. But Credo and Clark are down. That's going to be a very slow cart for a while. And this is a bit of an awkward situation now, isn't it? We've got Samburn having a little slow dance in window room. Oh dear. Yeah, they've been body blocked. Yak's down, Borden's down,
and Samburn's
on top. Yeah,
and he gets out, and Sprayer got headshot by Ollie. So I mean, it kind of works out. For
no Nubby though. No spam on the cart. We have Samburn just sitting in top here, just doing his thing. And we have Nubby up now. Maybe the cart can get spammed a bit, but it's not looking very good now. There's only another one sentry up for Torpedo. Piggy's doing a 1v1 on the cart. He will chase Credo out and Joseph will clean him up, so. But Yahoo's on the cart, and Joseph, oh no! He just walks in and gets M1 by Yahoo. That's sad.
6 minutes and 35 seconds SDCK have to get this cart into the pit, and they'll win the first round here. Nubby's doing the best he can, along with Aleski. Actually, the two of them combining to block this cart.
He's eating all the arrows.
Yeah.
We got Ziman and Credo on the cart here, but I think the spam's coming in again from Yak. So Unspray's down to Borden.
That's something.
How?
But Joseph, he was so weak. Oh, and he's dodging these pipes. Cheeky little surf there. Oh no, he gets headshot by Kazarok.
Oh, that's just tragic. And Ziman's on the cart, so it does get cleaned up in the end. And it's just Aleski here, but he's getting spammed out slowly. No arrows for Aleski this time, but you got Piggy helping him, killing Jackie Legs. Is he going to eat the sandwich? He's going to live? I don't know.
So this is
really suspense drama right here.
Just the tale of two heavies at the moment. Aleski's on 11 HP underneath. Oh, he goes down. Whereas Samburn had a lot more HP and died to Ollie. So, I mean, both heavies died there. That was a very quick romance story. But T-Borden there with the reflect takes down Jackie Legs. But look at SDCK. They're just going to swarm onto the car. There's other players alive. There's so much damage.
Yak and Piggy there just winning. But the thing is, now they've baited Piggy onto the car. Sorry, and now he's going to face down Elacor and Samburn. No one survives that. And it's just Rambasaur left to contest the car here. Nubby comes in, trying to do something, but everyone's being zoned out here. There's nothing to contest the car. And it's actually on it, but no. That's the first round of map 2 to SDCK.
I mean, no reply yet from Torpedo. I mean, 2-0 on Badwater, 1-0 now on Upward on their map choice.
The defense was a lot better. Like, I think that was like a 7-minute time on defense. Like, if it wasn't for the attack, I'd be okay with that, honestly.
Mm-hmm. I mean, now they need to be in a situation where, I mean, it's match point, basically, for SDCK. If they win the next round, then they win the match. well, they win the map, they win the match, and then they go through to the final to play against Failer. However, Torpedo, they kind of, like, you're talking about mountains to climb. This is the biggest mountain. They need to name the next round just to stay in. They need to name the next round as well in order to win the map, and then they have to hope that they can go to Coal Plant, which is effectively SDCK's second map choice, and then try and get a win there in order to get through the final themselves, which is a long road. But, you know, you just got to take it round by round and just say, okay, well, our aim now is to win the next round. And it was closer, but at the end of the day, SDCK still did have about 5 minutes to spare there. So even if that push hadn't all worked, they still had another, 4 or 5 Ubers left in the tank to give it a go. So again, Torpedo need to kind of look at themselves and say what went wrong. I don't think the defense was that bad. They held for 6 or 7 minutes, but pushing, they struggled on some of the early points in particular.
Yeah, it's just, again, it's the same problems with Badwater. Like, I thought they had it sorted out with pushing first, because they sort of did what the SDCK killed the soldier, and then they got to the heavy and the sniper instantly afterwards. But then they just sort of got in a rut, really, trying to push up the hill up on the second. They just let Sandburn just constantly get damage onto Yak, and he just couldn't get any space forward. And again, it's deceptively hard for a demo to get spam on a heavy on this corner here. Like, the angles are in such a way that the arcs of your stickies are only really going to do splash, and if you want to try and pipe the heavy, you're going to be, facing the full focus of his minigun. It's very difficult. And again, like, when you have such focus on your demo man, it's very difficult to get any ground, because Yak would die before a push a lot of the time, or during a push, and then they just couldn't get ground afterwards. Or there was one that, when they were pushing second as well, they lost Yak, but they got the Uber off, and they killed a lot of players, and they got really far forwards. And that was great. But the trouble is that then they couldn't... They did it again on the first point as well, but the second point I think it was a lot more prominent. They couldn't get forwards afterwards because they had no spam on Roller Coaster. And then because Yak was really late coming in on the respawn, he said, oh, we have Uber, we have to go and use this now. And then they went in and pushed house. But, of course, that was the bait play by Sandburn and co. And then just got spammed out. And if they'd gone roller coaster, maybe it would have been a different story, but I'm not too sure. I think it's a bit of a lose-lose situation there. And they have to just try and keep Yak alive during these pushes. Like, it's a lot harder to main call when you're dead, in my experience as a demo.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I mean, he died 20 times. When you take a look at the logs, 20 times, which is actually, the third highest behind Agi and Nubby again. So, I mean, it's kind of that sort of players that shouldn't be dying that much and just needs a little bit more protection, perhaps. I mean, when you look at the top fragger of that round, it was Sandburn again with 31 for 15, Kazarok going 24 for 13. So, those two really putting in a ton of frags. I mean, the meds died similar amounts. A lot of the other stats are fairly equal. So it's just maybe just those tactical options. We'll have to see what happens here. But we are into potentially the final round of this semi-final. We're going to have SDCK in the blue attacking with Torpedo in the red defending, and then they'll have to try and beat that time. Twitch chat, do you think Torpedo are going to win this round and stay in this tie? Or give us a yay if you think that, or a nay if you think SDCK are just going to win this round again and make it a whitewash on their route to the final. We'll see what happens. Extrasolar, you're talking about Joseph needing to stay alive. Anything else that they need to combat on the side of SDCK? Who do they need to stop on there? Is it Sandburn?
Yeah, you read mine right there. Kill Sandburn. Sandburn is just carrying so hard right now, along with Kaza. He's just being such a thorn in the side of Torpedo here. It's very difficult for him to get any ground as long as he's alive. Yeah, and Yak again, instantly dead to Kazarok. So that's going to be... And Sprayer is maybe thinking about coming out here, but he wants that sniper pick to just be sure of himself. No Yak, no spam. Very... And Jacko just walking up here on the DH, but walks directly into the level 3 sentry and a rev heavy. That's not what you want to be doing, ideally.
Unless he's been doing a good job of just kind of holding this top area by himself after Joseph dying. But the Uber is used now by Sprayer. They're on the chase, and actually the counter Uber comes in much later, so this should be better for them. And it's all going to be about the repush here from SDCK, because they do not want to stop by the looks of it. They're trying to get a ton of damage down here. They're all flooding onto the cart. Joseph goes down to Kazarok again, just getting sniped so much here, as does Aleski. Kazarok already on a 4 kill streak in the early stages of this round, and they've backed out here and near down to about 30 HP, but does survive, which means it's going to be fairly equal Ubers on this second point. It's going to be a small advantage for Sprayer as he used earlier. And there's that ball kill from Predu.
Oh dear. The ball is just like Predu. He's just an absolute machine. You know, he's keeping the Christmas spirit alive all year round.
He types in chat, play ball. So that's a bind if I've ever seen one. Kazarok, I want to see how many times Kazarok has killed Joseph because he gets him again.
Yeah.
And it's very, very, very
Ollie
massive
dead as well
hold here.
as a man. Oh,
Sprayer died during
sad.
all of that, by the way. I don't know how. I was too busy looking at the Christmas balls, but
yeah, it's very distracting.
it's 100% Uber here for Anir, and they're on third. So I think they should just give up second. Say, you know what, it all went wrong, but we've got Uber for third.
I really
just died,
I really wanted Anir to just stay top there and just do the huge brain play, but he didn't, because they were 100% advantage. Like, I know Yak his philosophy on payload is just to like walk into the enemy team if you got advantage.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean,
on defense. So
it could work out here, but they need to catch out Sprayer. That's the big thing. If they kill the enemy,
and Anir's so low as well.
He's so weak. 40 HP.
Sandburn's on the prowl. He's underneath shot down. Oh! How do you let that happen?
Drops him through the stairs.
You just let Heavy walk through under.
That is disgusting.
Oh no! That is just an absolute collapse here. Torpedo and Ziman's on Rambus. Oh, how do you even? I think that is the final nail in the coffin here. I'm not sure if they can come back from this. We have 100% advantage here for Sprayer on attack. And Sandburn doing the Putus. He gets the drop. Minigun does a lot of damage. So
that is a play and a half.
That's going in the frag movie. That is
going in the frag movie. Sprayer at 100% now. Huge advantage. 70% add over Anir, who's on the respawn and having to play very passive here with Navi and
Lesky though, like he does the Sandburn. He gets you here. He gets on core, but Sandburn doesn't care. He's got a whip soldier. He's going super speed through top here. And I'm not sure about Azuba though. This is a bit of a cringe right here, actually. Yeah.
They catch out Joseph, but I mean, Zaman gets a backstab anyway. But I think maybe they felt there was more people up there.
Yeah, it was just them. Everyone else is on car tracks. But they've got a lot of cap time there. No one is dealing with the scout on the car here. Piggy's finally going for Predator in the end. But yeah, maybe the Uber is working out on the end, as you know.
I mean, this is decent from Torpedo. I mean, they have. I mean, it's level 1, but it's being wrangled. It's blocking the cart a little bit. They're getting some kills here, and they do have an Uber. And Anir's really passive. It's very hard to get sort of attacked here without anyone denying it.
And it wants to go now. He wants to go straight through under with his team. And he's getting flanked by Credo. He is forced in the end, but they are going to get top. But Yak, I'm not sure if he knows where he wants to go with his team yet. He's thinking about holding lower for a little bit, but I'm not sure they know where the combo is of Sprayer. They're just sitting outside lower here, and then it will finally cross and stop. Sandburn is a killer on the prowl, but Joseph does pipe him in the end.
Kazarok again! Just chalk it up, guys. Chalk it up. That is another one for Kazarok onto Joseph. Just so much focus onto Joseph here. And we do see Nabi also dying, and Aleski playing sort of on this low ground again, on the stairs, just blocking the car as best he can. And this sentry is now up to a level 3, just trying to get that damage down, but the Uber comes in from SDCK from underneath, and they're going to try and get as much damage down to get the sentry done. There's a lot of people dying here for the defense. There's only 4 alive.
Lesky up. Oh no, Yak died. No, it's just Lesky up, and he can't shoot through the car. No magic bullets here, no MVM. And yeah, this is just absolute carnage here. Everyone's dead. Cart's coming in, there's no one to contest it anymore. I wanted to see Borden on the jetpack there, but sadly no. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. I think that's almost the same time as you got attacking Badwater, wasn't it?
It's 2 seconds more, yeah. 5:08 was the time on Badwater, and now 5:10 on upwards. SDCK putting down the gauntlet, throwing down the gauntlet and saying, hey, look, you know, you pick payload against us, and this is what happens. You know, we're going to do the same as we did on our map choice. And just a really, I mean, that drop coming out of Sandburn, you know, that is definitely the killer blow almost on that hold, because after that, they lost so many players in a dry push. They gave away this huge Uber advantage, and they never really recovered from it. They never really got that kind of top hold again that you want on last to buy yourself some time. So, I mean, sometimes it does show that those individual plays make a huge difference. They can really just turn the tide of a game. But who knows? Maybe Torpedo are going to have some plays of themselves. They have to win this round, otherwise the game is over, and SDCK will make it through to another final for them. I think it'll be their 4th to face against Failure Esports. We'll see what happens here. 5 minutes and 10 seconds. I mean, if you get a drop extrasolar on 1st or 2nd or something like that, you can steamroll it a little bit, but it's a big ask.
Yeah, I mean, they got, it wasn't a drop, but they got Arthur Uber medic pick. But then the thing is Yak's dying again every time, so they can't get any momentum off of these pushes. They can get the cap, but not the momentum. But Sandburn's out immediately. That's, you know, kind of a big pick if they can get the telly in time, but I doubt it. And that's the problem if you kill someone this early in the round. It happened last round with Rap Defense with Yak on. He was killed very early, but teleport was up, so it didn't really matter that much.
Actually takes down the teleport though.
Oh,
it's actually managed to do it, so that's
a 20-second walk for Sandburn all the way through.
That's a rock. It's just popping off 3 kills. On a 3-kill streak already. Make that 4. Make that 4. That one was a body shot, so I mean, does it really count? I suppose it does.
No,
that one was a headshot.
He's made up for it, yeah. He's looking for another headshot as well, maybe.
I mean, it's hard. It's hard. You get a big pick like that, and you take down the teleporter, and then you're walking in, and you're just constantly losing player after player after player. KazRock is down now. He took down Ollie, but Ollie did take down Elikos. No Demo Man for the defense in this exchange. Joseph goes down really weak, but the Uber is used. He's going to die, though. He doesn't get flashed enough to keep him alive.
Sandburn's
back in
getting
position.
all the Uber, and he's killed Yak already. He's killed Borden, but surely he's dying here. He's getting arrowed, but he's got a Lesky and Biggie. I'm not sure even Sandburn can deal with that. Then I think this will be the first point. Yeah,
it should be, yeah. I mean, I think SDCK could have held that. I think they could have held that a little bit longer.
I think
but they're not
personally,
going to risk it.
I think the issue with that was the gun was really forward and then it got sapped. It was in denial spot for the entire thing. I'm not sure if Clark was quite ready for the push.
Oh, Agi! Oh. Agi sneaks in just as Sprayer turned his back, gets the backstab from that sneaky little side bit on 2nd. This is the opening they need. They have a huge advantage now, Torpedo. Once
again, though, Yak dies. Like they're getting these big hero plays onto Sprayer, but Yak dies before these pushes. So that delays their push. I think that's where a lot of the time on these defenses are coming from Dickmann's. Is getting this Yak pick every time. So even though you're out a huge dishad, your push is delayed by like 10-15 seconds every time, and it's putting Torpedo out of sync basically.
Ollie's in a really good position here, but he will die to his man. But he took down Elikor, and I think he's going to be happy with that exchange. Uber is used by Torpedo, and again they get baited by that sentry. Yeah, sentry's put
Clark's
there.
brain is just too big.
Look at Sandburn. He's in the window.
Oh, Yak's in on Clark. He gets the airplane. There's no sentry on 3rd either, and this could be if everyone just puts their feet on the pedal here and they just walk forward. This maybe could be a 3rd point. And there's only the pick classes down for Torpedo right now, but they're bleeding Nubby as well. And that's not what you want to see when you're trying to push forward. And look at the health and the combo as well, it's not very good. Borden's on 7 HP, he will escape with his life. And then the settle's back up, and KazRock is in on roller coaster, and Yak's down to Elikor again.
Yeah, no one's pushing. I mean, it's just over 2 minutes to go, and you have that bit of momentum. You want to keep building that momentum. You need people pushing the cart. If the cart pusher dies, get someone else on there. Get someone else who's not involved in the sacks, in the pushing, you know. Nubby goes for a bit of a jump here. He's going to get a lot of damage down and does take down Jackie Leg, so they have control of this balcony now. The Uber's used by Sprayer, and Anir's nowhere near. Anir has run away. He's got Ollie for company, he's got Joseph for company. Has to be careful, but nice reflex from T-Borden is going to keep those pipes away. You just see Sandburn, how far forward he
Demands on Yak though, he does get caught out. Borden does find him in the end, but Yak's down to Sandburn. He's getting these plays every time. And I think that, again, that might be it. Honestly, it's like KazRock's dead, but maybe if they get times free, you know.
They have
Yak's
this Uber.
as well.
This needs to be the most clinical Uber you've ever used in your life here, as Anir and Nubby are going to be the ones to take it.
It's good. It's really good, actually.
It's actually really, really good. They take down Sentry, take down Clark, so there's not going to be much defense on last. And we do take a look at the time now. It's 1 minute 20 seconds, so that car is probably going to roll onto the point, on 3rd point, as it hits a minute. And I do believe...
It's 43 seconds, I believe.
42, I was going to say 47.
Is it 40? I don't know. You might be right.
It's 40 something, right?
Yeah.
So they have, about 20 minutes of non-pushing time, and they need to make the rest of it work here. And Yahoo is down for the next 12 seconds. So
I think they know Anir hasn't got Uber yet as well. They know they have to get him just killed right now, and he is down to half health. Sprayer, he is forced by Nubby. Nubby kills Allegor as well, and he does trade his life for it, but you'd be happy with that, really, honestly. Borden's on top, and he is sniped by Kazarok. Kazarok really is hitting another headshot onto Yak as well, and he gets sniped by Ollie there in the end. That was unfortunate. And Ollie's on top. This is do or die here, actually, for Torpedo. They have the Uber. It comes through onto Cart. 30 seconds left. Can they get this? Get the sentry? And the Allegor is spamming Cart completely for free here. We got Sandburn behind, and I think this is GG right here. Like, Sandburn just comes in from behind and just kills everyone who's trying to push, and because everyone was looking at the sentry, there was no focus on the demo man. And yeah, this is looking like GG.
You said it was do or die. I mean, that's pretty much it. Like, they could have gone in there with that Uber ad, and if they'd taken down the right things at the right time, then that was an easy push. But that level 3 sentry just kind of was taking the focus of the Uber. There was no one else being a distraction, so the sentry could just wrangle the stickies away. Yeah. And in the end, SDCK taking both maps 2-0.
Yeah, there you have it.
Yeah, I mean,
that'll be Torpedo relegated.
Superior here, really.
Torpedo forced to relegate themselves to a 3rd place finish. It's very good for a first season, you know, especially after like the not to be disrespectful, but like the dismal start they had to the season, really. With only getting the 1 point, but yeah, that's SDCK just charging forward into the final to face Failure. And I think if they keep playing like this, they are really just got a very good chance to win.
I mean, they're on like a 3 winning streak against Failure right now. I mean, they won UGC Upper Bracket Final, they won the last week of ETF2L on Badwater, and then they won the UGC Grand Final. And after this showing, looking at the players on Torpedo, they're not bad players. I mean, they've managed to get themselves into 3rd place in Prem, and they've got people like Agi, who played season 14, I want to say, Prem final, season 16. You've got people like Nubby, who's like you're pointing out the stats of a lot of these players who are excelling this season. So this is not an easy team to beat by any means, and SDCK showing they were quite superior here. And there wasn't any moments where you thought they were struggling at all. They always seem to be in control, and it's unfortunate. I mean, looking at the logs here, coming from combined, thanks to Mr. British again on this. You just take a look.
How many times did Yak die to Sniper?
Can you tell? Have you looked at the logs? Can you see what's going on?
Oh no, that's Yak dying 10 times to Kazarok, and Kazarok again killing only the same amount of times. Yeah.
I was going to say, who do you think are the top 2 fraggers? And it's the same ones we've had all day.
Kazarok, it's always
45 each. So I mean, it's almost poetic,
we're living in Team Fortress 2. They're in Team Fortress 23. You can't beat it.
Yeah, and again, like Yak just getting so focused there, especially by the sniper. Kazarok seeming to get a lot of kills onto him. Just constantly taking him down, and it's very hard in Highlander if your sniper's not alive. As we saw in the first round, both snipers were getting focused so hard on Badwater that they weren't really having any effect on the game whatsoever. But then later on, we've been seeing Kazarok being protected better by his team, and as such, taking down the demo. So, really struggle for Torpedo to take advantage of those small advantages they were given. You have that edge. You need to make it absolutely clinical and push all the way forward. So a very close last round there, but taking a look at the logs combined of Upward, fairly equal across the board for most of these players. I mean, you take a look at, damage-wise, it's fairly equal. Sandburn going over 400 DPM across.
I just want to chime in here as well.
Upward.
Yeah, it's insane, but you say how Kazarok getting Yak 10 times was insane. Sandburn killed Yak 9 times. And that's not the demo heavy relationship that I'm used to. Normally as a heavy, your job is to just get farmed by sticky bombs. But yeah, Sandburn's just been walking into Yak the entire game, just causing him, it's been complete hell for him to just be trying to fight that. He just hasn't been afforded the protection from his team and from don't really want to call anyone out, but Aleski and Borden as well, they've really been struggling to deal with Sandburn. And he's been in Yak's face the entire game. You don't expect your demo to die 9 times to a heavy. That's just really unheard of. Unless something catastrophic is happening.
It's very... It's odd. I mean, it's odd.
If we look at Yak's deaths, he has 34 deaths. So more than half of those were just to Kazarok and Sandburn.
I mean, he died the most out of everyone in the server.
Most deaths.
And that was over 1 a minute. So... Yeah, I mean, you've been saying it all the way through that there's been so much focus on him and he's dying at the pushes. There just maybe needed to be a little bit more protection I don't know, but
yeah, especially when the team's playstyle revolves around Yak not dying. Like if you recall in pregame when I said that Yak has the lowest deaths a minute in the regular season of Premiership, season 17, and so the entire team seems to revolve around him just like getting a big old KD and not dying. But now he's just been completely focused.
Yeah, and we can actually ask the players. We can ask the players themselves. As some of the people we've been talking about are here, and we can ask them what their thoughts are on the game. So we are joined by Kazarok from SDCK and Sprayer from SDCK, as well as Joseph from TORPEDO. Going to start off with Joseph. Commiserations for third place. Third place, Prem is nothing to be sniffed at, absolutely. But not winning this game, coming into the game today, like when you woke up this morning, you poured your cup of tea, you were ready. Did you think you were going to win? Were you confident?
If you'd asked me this question before Christmas, I'd have said yes. But now, this morning, no.
Okay, what changed over Christmas?
Well, we didn't play at all, and I think it was quite apparent because we had been playing with me calling hard. I was playing quite aggressive, and then it just felt like that we'd gone back 2 weeks to when I first joined the team. It just felt like we'd gone back a bit in terms of the way that we played the game. It felt like we had half of the team on one page and half of the team on the other.
Yeah, I certainly felt that.
I think that's the break.
I found a lot of the times I could see you were just charging forward, and you had NA with you but at a distance, but you had no one just backing you up there. It just felt like you were calling things to happen, but the team just wasn't with you.
Yeah, when I would call for pushes and stuff, I would feel like I always either wanted my heavy or my scout with me, and it just felt like I never had either. Sometimes Borden would be with me, but yeah, and then it doesn't help when Sandvich walks at me with 450, and I have no one else to help me shoot him.
Yeah, we
find
were
that
saying
Sandburn. Okay, please.
Do not misgender.
Please do not mispronounce his name. He's now Sandburn. But yes, I mean that was something extrasolar pointed out throughout the game. Just constantly saying how you were dying in pushes. And how Sandburn was just constantly picking off. And, he got you 9 times, but there was one person who did better than that in killing you, and that was Kaza, who is with us. Did Joseph wrong you in a previous life? Is there something you hate him for? Did he steal your girl or what? Because you just had it in for him today. You were
Christmas.
Constantly taking him down. I mean, you top frag with Sandburn with 45 today. At the start of the game, you and Ollie, I don't know if it's fair to say, both kind of struggled. You were both bottom of the table after that first round of Badwater because both of you just seemed to be focused so hard. But after that, kind of you guys picked it up and maybe got a bit more protected. Did you feel like you were on a roll today?
Before the match, I didn't know what to expect about TORPEDO because we didn't play them a lot. But yeah, after the first round of Badwater, we were really confident for the rest, and it was the momentum we get, and we kept it until the last round of Upward. So yeah, pretty happy with what we done.
Did you have the kind of same sort of confidence coming into the game? I mean, same question as I said to Joseph. Really, coming in this morning, did you feel this was going to be a win? Were you focusing more on the failure game already, or did you still feel there was a task to be done here?
As I said, we played a lot of failure recently. Even before Christmas, we didn't play TORPEDO, I think. So I wasn't really sure about what's going to happen in the game. And yeah, it was kind of challenging facing Ollie. He's a good sniper.
Respect, and I'm gonna bring in Sprayer here, who you've been here since the start of the season. Hi. I just want to say, did you feel a change in the wind as the season's gone on? At the start of the cast, me and extrasolar were looking at the rosters, and we were talking about how both of the rosters today were not the same as you guys played in week 1. There's been a number of changes on both sides. Do you feel you guys have kind of found your form now with the different players? You got Kredu playing, Elikor playing, Kazarok playing. Do you feel stronger now? Do you feel you're more as a unit as you were before?
Yeah, I do believe so. Playing a lot better. But we plan to have Kredu and Elikor from the start because they played DGC with us. but they had sixes, so they were busy, so they couldn't really turn up to some ETF2L games. And we felt that Py-bun was just not really good at the time. He needed to shake off his rust, and there wasn't really enough time to do it. And I think that's one of the reasons that we couldn't find any coordination with the new people. And basically, Credu and Elico, they've been on our team for quite long in terms of, like, they've usually just subbed, but when they stepped in, we were really coordinated because we did play with them before. And yeah, I think that's why we're getting the results.
I must ask though, what was the Mumble atmosphere after the sandwich med drop?
Yeah, so basically at the start we didn't really understand how that happened, but apparently it was he shot the medic through the stairs.
Yeah, he just walked through under.
Yeah.
Was that on upward?
Yeah, on upward.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, it felt like on that upward round, what happened is the enemies just fell apart completely. We were getting pick after pick. Although we were also playing quite aggressively, a lot more aggressively than we usually do, because we felt like we could do it, and we did it, and it worked out. Well, we feeded some players, that's I think why the damage is pretty equal, but like, I think just we managed to win those fights better and get better positions after that.
I mean, just to kind of broach the question to both Kaza and Sprayer, coming into this now, like, you're guaranteed second place, you're in the grand final, you are going in as the lower seeds against Failure, but obviously just winning the game, you don't have a second grand final like UGC. You've beaten them sort of, 3 times in the space of about 8 days in 2018 when you beat them in the regular season and then twice in UGC. Do you feel like the tide is kind of like in your favor right now? Are you going in as the favorites, do you think, or do you still feel Failure as the higher seeds are the favorites? How do you think that game's going to go?
I don't really know. I'd say it's going to be a really close match. We've played a lot recently. We lost some maps, we won some, so yeah, I think it's going to be a really good grand final.
It's interesting with the structure of the playoffs as well. I mean, I know this has happened before as well when we had the first season Strong Opinions won, Season 9, when we had Fair Enough, who were at the top of the table for pretty much the entire season, and then Strong Opinions came from a lower seed and just beat them. Do you think that the lack of any officials, because obviously as the top seed, you don't play that semi-final, you don't get that extra game, and sometimes you just scrim less as well. Do you think that would have an effect on their performance in the final?
I don't think so. They're scrimming a lot, and they have a good cohesion in the team, so I don't think one official is gonna make the difference.
I think they're playing Pogs all the time together, so maybe it doesn't help too much, but it's better than nothing really, and it helps the team coordinate. So they're gonna be just individually prepared for the game. Other than that, I do believe the game is going to be fairly equal, but I think we do have the upper hand.
Okay, well, thank you for joining us, and thank you to all of you, those who have been watching. This has been the semi-final of Season 17 Premiership ETF2L, and we'll be bringing you the grand final whenever that gets scheduled, whenever these boys decide to organise a day for that big occasion. Before we go, any shout-outs? We'll start alphabetical order. Kaza, anyone you want to shout out to?
Shout out to Torpedo for the good match, and shout out to Bol, the best demo NA.
Okay. Joseph, any shout-outs?
A shout out to Dowie.
Okay, Sprayer?
Yeah.
Shout out to Torpedo. They've been a good team. A lot of new people that play in this game, and it's really nice for them to achieve so much in the first season. Okay,
and extrasolar, do you have anything to say before we depart?
Well, I want to give a shout out to Wiethoofd on production, as always. He's absolutely worked tirelessly, apart from, the first half an hour when he almost threw the cast. But I also, of course, want to give a shout out as well to Yak for having the biggest brain in Highlander. And my last shout out will be to Police Squad.
Okay, well, I'm just going to shout out all you guys watching. Thanks for watching, and of course, Extrasolar for being a great casting partner, and Wiethoofd for, just doing his job as usual, does amazing work behind the scenes, and we all appreciate it. Thank you guys for coming in for interviews, and congratulations to SDCK for reaching the final. Commiserations to Torpedo, but well done for doing a great season and managing to get that third place. We'll be back for the grand final. That'll be the final match of the season. We'll find out who's going to be crowned Season 17 Premiership champions. Will it be SDCK for the third time, or will Failer win their first final after 3 defeats in a row? We'll find out next time on KritzKast. Good night.
Hi-oh, Beaver! Away!